Kevin Stefanski showing you once and for all, I didn't want to draft him. I don't like his attitude. And above all, he fears his father. He fears that if Shedeur ever gets a hold of the starting quarterback job in Cleveland, before you know it, Dion will replace Kevin Stefanski as the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns. If Shedeur's ever going to get a shot here, it's only because Jimmy Haslam steps in and puts his foot. Stfansky is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur. I guarantee you Bailey Zappi is now, and they're not putting it up on the website. I guarantee he'll dress at Pittsburgh, and he will be second in command.
Jeudy just flipped the whole NFL script upside down. 1 minute he's catching passes, the next he's dropping bombs, verbal ones. And right in the middle of the chaos, Shadur Sanders, of course. This ain't your average locker room gossip. It's a full-blown football soap opera with million-dollar egos and broken trust. So go on, hit that like button, drop a comment, and tell me, did Kevin Stefanski really just bench his own career by snubbing the hottest name in Cleveland? It all started like a typical Cleveland week. Gray skies, half-hopeful fans, and the same old cycle of heartbreak. But out of nowhere, Judy let one tweet fly, and boom! Silence turned into scandal. Browns fans nearly choked on their morning coffee when they realized what went down. Word on the street is Stfansky made a move so wild, so tone-deaf, it might have just cracked the last bit of belief this city had left.
I know we're 1-4. We're all frustrated. Can we have a slight laugh here?
I'd like to have a laugh.
All right. So Jerry Judy today was asked about the Browns' 4-quarterback plan from camp and the reps given to Flacco and Pickett, who are no longer here, and whether that was a waste of time. I would dare say he dropped the answer on this.
I won't say a waste of time, you know. I don't know what that was, you know. I'm pretty sure everybody thought they'll still be here throughout the season, but, you know, things change.
Well, it wasn't a waste of time.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
Yeah, you heard that right. He snubbed Shadur Sanders, the same Shadur who's been lighting up headlines, carrying himself like a mix between an MVP and a motivational speaker. Who in their right mind does that? You don't just forget about Shadur Sanders. That's like not paying your electric bill and then complaining the lights don't work. This man is the power source. But Coach Stfansky, he went full old school, stone-faced, my system matters more mode. And in doing so, he might have just turned the city against him. Because when you play politics with the future of a franchise, the fans don't forget. They riot. Kevin Stefanski's out here coaching like he still thinks the forward pass is a risky experiment. That old school mindset finally hit a wall. And Jerry Jeudy was the one who said, enough's enough. The second his comments dropped, it felt like the football gods froze time. In one bold move, Judy didn't just defend Shedeur Sanders. He cracked open something deeper, something the whole league's been pretending not to see.
Just an honest answer in the moment.
Yep.
Of like, I'm trying to... Those are the moments where athletes they get to be livid at the situation, and they get to be mad that they have to be the meat shield and the ones that stand in and try to justify a decision by a front office and coaching staff that they don't even agree with.
I just love that he was just flat out like, I don't know what to call it. That's just so, like, that's endearing. Like, when somebody gives you, I didn't hear any vitriol, I didn't hear any frustration. I just heard, like, I cannot call it a waste of time.
Yeah.
Not allowed to call it a waste of time. I also don't know what it was.
I think we need to add this to the Kevin Stefanski criticism board as we move forward. The idea that, and it was not just a local, this was a national narrative in training camp moving up to it.
You could feel the energy shift in Cleveland's locker room like someone yanked the plug mid-game. And here's the wild part. Judy didn't just say Stfansky made a bad call. He basically roasted the man's entire football philosophy. He hinted that the coach's mindset is so outdated, it belongs in a museum next to a dusty VHS tape. That's not criticism. That's a full-blown expose with shoulder pads. The internet went into absolute meltdown mode. Browns fans turned into detectives overnight, connecting dots like it was a Reddit manhunt. Was Stefanski's problem ego? Was he scared of Shedeur's growing spotlight? Or maybe he just can't handle confidence? Because let's be real, Shedeur walks into a room like the Super Bowl trophy's already waiting for him. That's swagger, not arrogance. And some people just can't stomach it. Meanwhile, Stfansky gives off major "I iron my khakis before practice" energy. It's a total clash of worlds. Cool versus corporate, fire versus formality. And here's the hilarious twist. The Browns, yes, those Browns, somehow managed to create a full-blown media circus without even losing a game yet. Cleveland can't catch a break.
Yeah, you can't do those things and expect to go on the road and win, and just frustrated to not play clean football on offense, defense, and special teams. Just can't do it on the road versus a good football team, and we got to get it fixed because, you know, before you start winning, you got to stop losing. We're doing some things right now that are preventing us from winning.
Not on the field, not off it, not even in the preseason chaos. Every time the Browns start stacking a little bit of momentum, boom, someone drops a whole new subplot like it's a reality show gone off script. And this one's got it all. Drama, betrayal, locker room tension, and a rising quarterback whose hype is so big it could melt the entire AFC North. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders is probably somewhere chilling in designer shades, sipping something smooth, looking completely unbothered while the whole NFL argues about him like he's some mythical figure who just stepped out of a legend. It's wild. This man hasn't even officially taken over a team yet, and he's already got vets out here risking their contracts just to defend his name. That's not clout, that's power. And you know this one stung Stfansky deep. His whole coaching style is built around control, structure, and carefully drawn up plays. But the league's changed. It's not about safe anymore. It's about chaos, charisma, and making noise. And Shadur, he is that noise. He's the chaos modern football feeds on. Style, confidence, and unpredictability all rolled into one.
Today, man, what is going on in Cleveland with Kevin Stefanski and his quarterback situation after Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati, man? Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, he is diabolical. Now, we know that Joe Flacco was traded yesterday to the Cincinnati Bengals. And what does that mean? What does that do for Shedeur Sanders? Well, we all know Shadur Sanders was the emergency quarterback. He was the QB3. And Dylan Gabriel was the QB.
You can practically picture the locker room after Judy's bombshell comments. Silence thick as smoke, players side-eyeing each other, some pretending to stretch while secretly texting their agents under the table. Meanwhile, Cleveland's PR team probably hit the panic button, trying to decide whether to release a statement or just call it a day and pray. Because once that can of worms gets cracked open, there's no stuffing it back in. This isn't just about Shadur anymore. It's about respect, leadership, and that brewing tension between the new school ballers who play with personality and the old school coaches who still think swagger's a sin. Judy didn't just call out Stefanski's decision. He exposed the identity crisis sitting at the heart of the NFL. This ain't just about who can throw better. It's about who can own the moment. Let's be real. Shadur Sanders owns every single room he walks into. Yeah, he's Dayon's son, but don't get it twisted. He's not riding his dad's wave, he's building his own. The swagger, the composure, the spotlight that follows him like paparazzi at a Kardashian wedding. It's all proof this kid's rewriting the playbook on fame and football at the same time.
With that, I'll take any questions.
What's the number one thing offensively?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's as simple as that, Zach. Obviously, today we weren't able to run the ball effectively, and then got behind there in the second half. 0 for 3 in the red zone. I know those were 2-minute drives, a lot of them, but we gotta find a way to score points. Got to run the ball efficiently. Got to find a way to be better in the pass game. All of the above.
With some of the Steelers, David, you couldn't run, or was it the same enough?
Yeah, I mean, obviously give credit to your opponent, but we got to do a better job.
But here's the thing. This is Cleveland, a city that's practically built on heartbreak and false hope. Fans have lived through every form of disappointment imaginable. And now, for the first time in forever, they've got something real. A spark, a quarterback in waiting who could actually turn all that pain into power. Yet, somehow, Kevin Stefanski is out here coaching like it's still 1998, trying to play chess while the rest of the league's out here running Fortnite plays with jetpacks and chaos. And when a respected vet like Judy calls you out, that's not just noise. That's a flare shot straight into the sky. It's the locker room's polite way of saying, "Coach, we got a problem." But of course, Stefanski's defenders came charging in with their spreadsheets and play charts, swearing up and down that he's just building a system. Yeah, sure. And the Titanic had excellent design too before it sank. Here's the truth. You can't out-scheme momentum. You can't coach charisma. And that's where Stefanski's missing the mark. Shedeur isn't just another player, he's a walking movement.
Shadur Sanders will not see the field while Stfansky is the head coach unless Dillon Gabriel gets injured or something dramatic happens, like he throws 50 more passes for 200 yards again. There's no way, even if that, he's still not going to put Shedeur Sanders in the game. If you look at the press conference that just happened, he's going with his guys, do or die. There's no way in hell that he's going to put Shadur Sanders in the game. And the more that the media talks about it, the less likely he is to do it. He wants to, he at this point, he wants to prove.
He's the kind of presence that makes a city believe again, that makes the cameras show up and the fans stay loud even when the odds say quit. Cleveland finally has a shot at being more than the punchline of the NFL. And somehow, their own coach is standing in the way like a lost traffic cone in the middle of greatness. Meanwhile, Jeudy just keeps doubling down. And at this point, he probably realizes he's kicked off something way bigger than a friendly defense. What started as loyalty to a teammate has turned into a full-blown football culture battle. On one side, you've got the old-school guys clutching their playbooks, preaching about discipline and humility. On the other, there's the new wave. Players who wear confidence like armor and aren't afraid to call it how they see it. And the memes? Oh, the memes went crazy. Within hours, social media turned into a digital battle zone.
So after watching this Stfansky press conference after the Cleveland Browns lost to the Steelers today, 23-9, Dillon Gabriel threw 52 pass attempts, 6 sacks, average of 4 yards per pass. Stfansky has zero intention on putting Shadur Sanders in any game this season. He said he's confident in his guy. He's a tough guy. He's going to be do or die with Bill.
Fans were posting Shedeur's highlights next to Stefanski's stale play calls, joking that the only thing the man's truly developed is anxiety and disappointment. Cleveland Twitter hasn't been this alive since the Dog Pound convinced themselves Baker Mayfield was the chosen one. It's chaos, comedy, and pure entertainment, all before the season even starts. But here's the wild twist. All this noise might actually be helping Shedeur, because if there's one thing this kid feeds on, it's pressure. Doubt him, overlook him, or in Stefanski's case, flat out snub him, and he'll turn that disrespect into fire. He's built for the spotlight. You can see it in every college highlight, every sideline smirk, every game day fit that practically screams, "I'm not here to blend in." And whether Stfansky knows it or not, he's accidentally setting up the perfect storyline. The coach who tried to quiet the storm might just end up unleashing the loudest force the NFL's seen in years.
I'd be surprised if this bugs Andrew Berry at all.
I was talking about Stfansky.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, he gets bothered by everything.
And I think that's where, if Stefanski feels like Shedeur has become a distraction, I guess my problem is
Stefanski doesn't have power to do anything at this point.
But I think my problem is Shedeur's become a distraction. Because I don't think it's Shedeur. Shedeur doesn't, yes, he can absolutely get more people talking about him by miming and stuff like that. But, like, he's not out there getting in legal trouble, right? He's not out there being accused of what certain dudes in that locker room have been accused of. He's not coming out and saying inflammatory things. So, like, I don't get Kevin's side of this, other than there's just a lot of natural noise that comes with Shedeur, at which point, oh well, he's a member of the team.
Picture the headlines when that day comes. The same man who benched him becomes the backdrop to his rise. Jeudy might end up looking like a prophet when it's all said and done. Because while everyone else got lost in politics, he saw what truly mattered. Talent that refuses to stay benched forever. When Shedeur finally steps onto that field, all those snubs, all those little backhanded dismissals, they'll fade into static compared to the explosion that's coming. Because here's the truth. Cleveland doesn't need another robotic system quarterback. They need a spark. Someone unpredictable, electric, and fearless. And maybe, just maybe, Stfansky underestimated what happens when you mix raw hype, a hungry fan base, and a Sanders with something to prove. In Cleveland, secrets never stay buried. They always find a way to resurface louder than before. And when Jeudy talks, people listen. Not because he's trying to stir chaos, but because he's the only one bold enough to say what everyone else whispers behind closed doors.
Well, guys, man, I'm here to tell you, man, as I was sitting there watching that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, I got a message from one of my supporters talking about, I wonder what Tony Grossi going to say now about Dylan Gabriel. How is he going to protect Dylan Gabriel after this dismal performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers? And I got to thinking to myself, Tony Grossi has created this narrative about Dylan Gabriel being way better than Shadur Sanders, and that Dylan Gabriel is more ready to play the NFL game than Shadur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel today went out there and was...
That's what makes this moment so wild. In this messy, unpredictable soap opera that we call the NFL, the truth doesn't always come from a coach's office or a TV analyst's script. Sometimes it comes straight from the players who are just tired of the politics and want to win. Jeudy lit the match, Shadur Sanders is the flame, and Kevin Stefanski, he's standing right there, holding a playbook that's about one spark away from going up in flames. Things aren't spiraling because Judy turned villain. They're spiraling because once the truth gets spoken out loud, it doesn't crawl back into the locker room quietly. It echoes, it spreads, and it starts conversations no one can control. Every sports outlet, from ESPN to that one guy podcasting in his mom's basement, jumped on the story. Every word, every sideline glance, every handshake got replayed like it was evidence in a crime scene. The narrative flipped overnight. What started as Stefanski's focused on discipline and structure turned into, is Kevin Stefanski scared of young talent? And at the center of it all, Jeudy, the accidental truth teller who just might have changed Cleveland forever. Judy's probably somewhere smirking like, I said what I said. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders is likely kicked back in designer shades, watching this whole drama play out like it's a Netflix series about him. And that right there, that's the tension Stfansky never saw coming. Because you can't coach a personality like Shadur's. You either embrace it or get left behind trying to decode it like a math problem you forgot to study for. What makes this whole thing hilarious is that Stfansky actually thought he was playing chess. Benching Shadur, keeping him developing, trying to stay conservative like it's still the early 2000s. But newsflash, the NFL doesn't reward patience anymore, it rewards spectacle. You can be 2-14 and still golden if your star player is trending every Sunday. Fans don't just want wins now, they want moments. And Shadur Sanders, he is the moment. A walking, tweeting, headline-making highlight reel that turns every snap into a viral event.
I don't think they think it's tough to navigate or are really disheartened if you talk to the people at the very, very top of the Browns, and I mean the Haslams. Like, it's funny how they, like, whoever told Jason about the fear of being Baker or whatever it is, Jimmy Haslam loved the attention that Baker Mayfield brought. I call him Jerry Jones Jr. for a reason. He loves the idea of people talking about the Browns, people discussing the Browns, and this was one of the only ways you were going to get people to talk about the Browns this season. So I don't think the Haslams at the very top, I don't think they're fearful in any regard with this. I think they're getting exactly what they wanted on this. When they turn on ESPN, when they turn on Fox Sports 1, they turn on the big stations, people are discussing the Browns. They're discussing Shedeur. I think if you talk to Haslam, that's what...
Stefanski's stuck in a system that can't tell the difference between humility and hesitation. And without even realizing it, he's exposed how out of touch some coaches are with the new era of football fame. Because players like Shedeur aren't just competing on the field anymore. They're competing for attention, for influence, for legacy. While Stefanski's busy drawing up plays on his clipboard, Shedeur's out here drawing fan bases. And now, every single mistake Stfansky makes from this point on is going to look 10 times worse because Jeudy already lit the fuse with one single comment that hit harder than any touchdown. Behind the scenes, you just know Cleveland's front office is sweating bullets. The PR team's probably doing yoga and deep breathing just to survive the day. Assistants are whispering in the hallways, pretending everything's fine. And Stfansky, he's in the mirror practicing that tight smile that screams, everything's under control. But deep down, everyone knows it's not. Something shifted, and there's no going back now. And now, the players are watching, the fans are watching, even the rival teams are watching, smirking, waiting for Cleveland to implode like it always does. But this time, it might not be bad luck that breaks them. It might be because they disrespected the one guy who could have rewritten their entire story. It's poetic in a twisted way. Cleveland finally finds its spark, its swagger, its shot at a full-on cultural reset. And somehow they're still trying to stuff it into a spreadsheet like it's just another stat line. Jeudy didn't just expose a snub, he exposed a mindset, the kind that's allergic to change and scared of confidence. And now the noise, it's only getting louder. Every sideline convo, every glance between Stfansky and Shadur, every smirk caught on camera. Instant meme material. The internet's waiting to pounce on every second because nothing in football sells faster than a redemption story about to blow up. Cleveland's sitting on a time bomb, and they don't even realize it. The tension's building, the cameras are rolling, and everyone knows what's coming next. That one explosive moment when talent and ego collide right on live TV. So buckle up, Cleveland. This isn't the end of the drama. It's just the start of the next quarter. Because whether Stfansky likes it or not, the whole world's watching to see how long he can keep pretending he didn't just poke the bear named Shadur Sanders. Don't forget to drop a comment, hit that like button, share this wild saga, and subscribe. Because this story's just heating up and you'll want to be here when it blows wide open. See you on the next one.